Hello everyone. So yesterday I had set up the database connection for the Todo app backend and written a simple route that reads from a table and sends it in the response for this route. So I have created three new files and separated out the routes to routes.py, separated out the DB connection code into a file called module called database.py, and our app.py is still the entry point for our Flask application, and this is where Flask runs from. So today I want to complete doing the routes. I think I have just done, so I have written a bit more code. This is my get to do's basic select query to get all to do's. It returns a list of to do objects. And I have also written, no, I haven't yet completed writing the poster to do. So for poster to do, we would need the ID, I think, or would it be the to do itself, the message? We would need that as a parameter in the request. So I don't know, I think I copy pasted this code. After this, we would need to read from this request. I am not sure how this works, but let's see. Flask request parameter. Possibly you do a request.args.get. Okay. And the name of the parameter, let's call it ID. So it would be something like request.args.get. Let's say ID. Let's put this in ID. So now we connect, now we insert values, and we want to know what our query will look like. The insert query will have to do a message and the user ID. And in the values, we can, okay, how do we, so that's not how it works, I guess. How do you write string literals in Python? So we want to have the message. Let's see, Python. We just want an example, I think. Template string. So you just put it in a, no, template string is something like this. And okay, so when you're formatting strings, you would probably need to use the format method. For example, this is a string where if this is a f string, okay, so we put it inside brackets, right? So okay, mostly this is not ID, this is a message. So we post a message and let's consider the user ID to be something random, like let's say user1. We'll change this later. And I think I'm doing this wrong. Let's put it here and remove this. Okay, I think so. We have the message and we have the user, and we should probably give the names of the columns. Messages and user ID. Okay, so insert into Todo. Okay, so we got our post to do, and we don't really need the results, do we? Let's just see if I completed the query. Queries. So this is the insert query. Okay. So we have a returning star. This is probably going to give us what we inserted. Let's do that. Values. And then we go with, I feel like I missed something. Okay, no. Here. Okay. Okay. I think the result goes into the data. It would probably be an object. Let's see what it would be. I don't really know. Let's write our delete method as well. So for delete, we need do we need? Get create. We do need the IT for it. Okay. So we need an actual ID here. And let's edit the query. So it would be delete from Todo where Todo. I just don't remember the names as such. Where Todo ID equals something. The ID. Okay. Now, whatever it returns, we'll return it off as the result. I think we're repeating this part, right? And we don't really know if this is a success or not. We should probably handle all those cases. But anyway, we have get, we have post, which is, I think we also need another get where we get one to do. And I think this needs two cases. One is like all, and another is like if. So I think if it gets a parameter, right? If, so let's make it, okay, let's just request args.get. So let's just say this is an ID. Get one to do. And this would be the single one. If, or we can just get it first. So the ID equals this. And if ID, then you go through a whole different route. Let's just say this. Let's copy paste this here. Else, we'll go with this. So there's this, you have your get a single to do, and you have your get all to do's. Let's just mark them. This is create a new to-do, and this is delete the to-do. And what we are left with is update, which is like edit one. So let's just quickly do this one. If request dot method equals put, what do we do? So in case of a put, we still need the ID. and then we do the whole database connection. So what's our query going to be? It's going to be an update. So update. How does an update query go? Update table name set how does an update go? Let's see. Routes to board. Update a to do. Okay, it's quite attributive. Updated is set message status completed on, where this is the particular to do ID. So all right, so we'll get the ID and we'll get the message and the status, and we're supposed to update it, and that comes from the body. That means we have a request which has the message and the status. Okay, so we have to have a request dot JSON, I think. So you have both a param. So how do you okay, let's see, message and status. So we have a request equal to request.json. So this gives us our request object. To do set message equal to request it would be called message, and it's throwing errors. Unterminated exception. Okay. Why? There is a closing brace missing for some reason. Really? I don't think so. Oh, okay. Ah, okay, we can't do it like this. Okay. Okay. Let's say message equals request underscore object message. Yes, equals request object. So message. And status. Okay. I keep forgetting. Update to the set message, comma status, where this. Okay. Message, status. Status is actually true or false, and I think you can just pass it. Where did you set message status where to do ID equals ID. There we go. Finally, I got it. Start equal to action. And I'll just copy this. So we're done. 2, 3, 4, 5. So our to-dos are done. Let's kind of go delete this. We're going to test them all together. We still have the list endpoints to do. And I think, yeah, it's still 23 minutes. We have 7 more minutes to go. So I'm just thinking if I should do the list endpoints too. And we have 3 more endpoints. The register, login, and verify ones, which are like auth related. We have a register, we have a login, and we have a verify for the JWT token, which handles the authorization session part. So we would probably have to do that. And if I wanted to go into a little bit more in terms of completeness, so we have had, I guess I would need to think about how I'm going to put the authorized part. So here we have it as a middleware where for every API, we're calling the authorize middleware, which basically verifies that the JWT token that is being passed from the browser to the backend is a verified token, and that user is a legitimate logged in user. So this part I am thinking should become a decorator, and we would have to look into JWT tokens and how that's implemented maybe in one of the Python libraries, we would have to replace this functionality, and we would have these three endpoints to write. And we still have a couple of more basic endpoints for the lists. We have a get lists, a post lists, get lists number, which is what is something. So there's still 5 minutes to go. So let me just write it, and we will test all these together next time. Okay, so let's write our list route. Should be list. And we'll go with, why did I not put this inside? And also the methods would be, we have get and we have post. And that would be it. So if request dot method is a get, we would be getting, so this would be pretty simple. We would be just, let me just copy paste this whole thing from here. And we'll just change the query. From list, and we need our response to be empty object, and so get all lists, and do an elif request dot method post. Let's do the create. We should definitely have functionality for deleting lists as well. We'll have that, no worries. Okay, let's copy paste this for now. So this will create us a new list. We don't need a message, we need a list name. Let me just check what is the name of that attribute. So we have lists, and select star from list, and we have lists, insert into, let's just copy this whole query. So we do have a body, but which would be having a list name. So let's go back there and let's call it a list name. Let's remove this. Oh, and let's call this lists. Let's just like keep the routes uniform. Insert into list. Let's kind of not go into this ID stuff for now. So we have a list name. And let's just call it user one for now. Okay, great. And I think this part is done as well. Okay, I think our 30 minutes are up, and that was it for today. Thank you. I will be um, getting back to this again tomorrow. Thanks. Good night.